Next on Worcester News tonight, Worcester City Councilors showing their support for the Paw Sox moving to Worcester, but there are also some concerns. Plus, Clear the Shelter was a success over the weekend. More than 90,000 animals were adopted. Local shelters participating added to that success. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Anna Botari. Worcester City Councilors speak on the Paw Sox moving to Worcester for the first time since the announcement. Tonight, councilors showing their support to the move, which would see nearly $200 million in investments in the city's canal district. And while most have shown excitement about the Paw Sox coming to Worcester, some shared their concerns at the city council meeting. Our Cam Jandro joins us now live with more. Cam?
Anna, council's approval is just one of many the city of Worcester is currently seeking. Major and minor league baseball still have to rubber stamp this process, as well as a few other organizations. But today at the city council meeting, residents were able to step in front of the mic and share their thoughts on this new deal.
Worcester City Council gets their first chance to weigh in on the deal to bring the Pawtucket Red Sox to Worcester. Councilors say their job now is to ensure the negotiated agreement is in the best interest of the city.
I'll be looking forward to see what the experts we have here, and even asking some folks like the auditor, that are independent, for their opinion to make sure the numbers all jive.
Part of the ballpark project, $90 million in private investments, including 2 hotels, 250 market-rate apartments, and retail space, each piece critical to generating revenue.
That money is going to pay for the ballpark. So it's similar to what we did at City Square. City Square was a diff, and we used the money for the infrastructure.
The Worcester Bravehearts did not share in the excitement of last week's announcement. General Manager Dave Peterson says the organization was troubled by how the negotiations with the Paw Sox were handled.
The Worcester Bravehearts aren't going to get in the way of progress in this city. But when the discussion of progress in this city involves the discussion of baseball, we would expect to have a seat at that table.
And while most speakers applauded the city's efforts to get the Paw Sox, some others expressed concerns about the ballpark's impact.
There's not really any dispute over how this works out for the city. Even the other cities that have tried to do the sort of development surrounding it, there isn't any place that has worked.
But the city council and Mayor Petty believe this is a significant win for Worcester and one worth acting on.
I think it's a great thing for not only that neighborhood, but the whole city.
I think the worst risk is that we do nothing. And that probably just stays. You have a toxic brownfield site for years to come.
Now, the city of Worcester will host multiple public forums to receive even more feedback from its residents. Mayor Petty tells me he expects the city council to look over this for about a month or so and expects a final vote in the end of September. Anna?
Thanks, Cam. While there's a lot of excitement surrounding the Paw Sox move to the city, one Holy Cross professor is looking at this from another angle. He's weighing in on the economic effect. Economics professor Victor Matheson says he's not surprised the team decided to come to Worcester. He says the city's investment in the nearly $90 million stadium is an extremely generous offer. Matheson says one issue is the new businesses, apartment buildings, and the people moving to the area require public services. Matheson says the money which would normally pay for them will now be going towards the new stadium.
They need to go to Worcester schools. People are going to need police. They're going to need fire. They're going to need snow removal, all these things that the city provides them. Normally, you pay for that through charging people property tax, and that goes into the fund to be able to pay these. Well, that money's not there anymore because even though you're paying property tax, all that property tax is being diverted to the stadium, and it doesn't go to actually pay for those services you need.
Matheson says if the plan works exactly as the city hopes and all the planned developments come in, the city anticipates a surplus of tax revenue. The problem, he says, is they have not accounted for the services needed by new businesses coming. The ball is rolling for the Worcester Red Sox. City leaders successfully brought the team to Worcester, but now they must lay out the groundwork to construct a new stadium. Polar Park is expected to be completed by 2021, and the business it's named after says they couldn't be more excited. Our Rosalind Flaherty has the story.
Christopher Crowley says it only made sense to name the new Worcester ballpark after his family's company.
They're symbols of polar bear as well as ours, and it was, you know, hey, we're from Worcester. This is our city, and we could make it happen.
Last week, the Paw Sox and the city of Worcester announced Polar Park will be built by 2021. Polar Beverages executive vice president says they were in talks with the team for about a year and developed a great relationship.
We can help them fill seats because we deal with so many consumers at store level, and we're in every major supermarket, so they'll love to partner with us.
The next steps are happening soon. The city is required to hire a project manager for the stadium by October 10th. On Wednesday, the Worcester Redevelopment Authority is looking to lay the initial groundwork for constructing the 10,000-seat stadium, as well as considering authorizing a request for a design.
When you hire the construction firm, the owner's project manager sort of that go between the designer, the construction manager, representing the city's interests, providing some valued input.
Crowley says Polar Park will be a great economic boost for Worcester.
The entire business community has really stepped up, and the city has really stepped up. So this is not just a simple, Polar deal. This is a full city deal with hotels. It's a full redevelopment.
Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
The city celebrates a new improvement to Newton Hill at Elm Park. A new maintenance building and bathrooms have been built at the park. City Manager Edward Augustus says the building is important to the Friends of Newton Hill, who do the maintenance work at the park, run programming like Tenacity, which teaches kids tennis and literacy during the summer.
They used to have to rent porta potties, which is an expense for them that will go away now. And it's not always the nicest looking thing, and it's difficult to maintain, whereas this permanent structure will be a lot easier for people to come and have activities here in the park and have the facilities they need for those activities.
The bathrooms will be accessible for park visitors. Now to an update on the Clear the Shelter event. It's a nationwide effort to help get animals without homes adopted out to the shelters. The nation event took place over the weekend. More than 1,200 animal shelters, including many in central Massachusetts, participated. According to the event's website, more than 91,000 animals were adopted. Here in central Massachusetts, the Worcester Animal Rescue League adopted out 16 pets, while the Second Chance Animal Shelter in East Brookfield adopted out 12. Westboro Public Schools are getting an extended summer. The district's start date is being pushed back to September 6th due to delayed construction at Hastings and Armstrong schools. Superintendent Amber Bach sent a letter to families saying an unusual amount of rain slowed down the projects. Bach says the district now needs to determine how to make up 5 lost days. They aim to have it planned by October, which may impact school vacation or the length of school days. An error in a school audit could cost the Wachusett Regional School District hundreds of thousands of dollars. According to the Landmark, a mistake in the report for transportation expenses means the district will not be reimbursed for fiscal year 2017. This could cost the school up to $600,000 if there are not further reimbursements down the road. In a high-stress job, focusing on mental health is sometimes forgotten. At the Worcester Fire Department, firefighters are working to be more aware of their surroundings and breathing. Our Chandler Walsh explains.
Worcester firefighters are practicing mindfulness or minute-to-minute awareness with a guided meditation.
Expand the field of your awareness.
It's a skill they learned in a UMass Medical School mindfulness workshop.
They were introduced to different techniques. The body scan, awareness of breath, mindful check-ins.
The department hopes the training will improve firefighters' performance in emergency situations and their resilience to stress.
We want to train our brains to leave the bad stuff alone.
Worcester Fire Lieutenant Patrick Shivrick reached out to UMass after he was exposed to mindfulness in another fire department training. About 50 members of the department took the 4-week course with homework and practice exercises.
They guide you through your body where you're tensing and relaxing different body parts. And that's supposed to kind of make you focus on that specific moment.
The department says the training has brought more focus to the job.
So if I'm working on that roof, I'm able to sort of pay more attention to the fact that I'm working with the chainsaw, I'm on this roof. I don't need to be concerned with what's occurring on the ground in this moment.
People who have practiced it and do practice it seem to see a great benefit in their situational awareness.
Chief Michael Lavoie says mindfulness could help firefighters deal with stress before it leads to post-traumatic stress disorder.
When you start to become mindful and start to concentrate on your breath and things like that, and you start to relax, all of a sudden you realize how stressed you actually are.
Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
Dozens of Muslim families celebrate a holy Muslim holiday at the Worcester Islamic Center today. In Arabic, Eid alAdha means the festival of the sacrifice. For Muslims, it commemorates the day when Prophet Abraham intended to sacrifice his son, but was instructed by God to offer an animal instead. Today in Worcester, the celebration included food and refreshments for everyone to enjoy. The holiday also marks the end of the Muslim pilgrimage to Mecca.